Sohrab and Rustum. By Matthew Arnold. Sohrab and Rustum. An episode is a narrative poem with strong tragic themes, first published in 1853 by Matthew Arnold. The poem retells a famous episode from Ferdowsi's Persian epic, Shahnameh, relating how the great warrior Rustum unknowingly slew his long-lost son Sohrab in single combat. In Sohrab and Rustum, Arnold attempted to imitate the grandeur and rapidity of Homer's style, which he was to discuss in his lectures on translating Homer, 1861. The poem consists of 892 lines of blank verse. Briefly, the story is of one Rustem or Rustum, a Persian Achilles, who fell asleep one day when he had grown weary of hunting. While he slept, a band of robbers stole his favorite horse, Ruksh. In trailing the robbers, Rustum came to the palace of the king of Semengan, where he was royally welcomed, and where he fell in love with the king's daughter, Temine, and married her. But he was of a roving, adventurous disposition, and soon went back to fight among his own people, the Persians. While he was gone, his son Sohrab was born, grew to manhood, and became the hero of the Turan army. War arose between the two peoples, and two hostile armies were encamped by the Oxus. Each army chose a champion, and Rustum and Sohrab found themselves matched in mortal combat between the lines. At this point Sohrab, whose chief interest in life was to find his father, demanded to know if his enemy were not Rustum, but the latter was disguised and denied his identity. On the first day of the fight Rustum was overcome, but his life was spared by a trick and by the generosity of Sohrab. On the second day Rustum prevailed, and mortally wounded his antagonist. Then he recognized his own son by a gold bracelet which he had long ago given to his wife Temine. The two armies, rushing into battle, were stopped by the sight of father and son weeping in each other's arms. Sohrab died, the war ceased, and Rustum went home to a life of sorrow and remorse. The classic influence on Sohrab and Rustum is especially noticeable in Arnold's use of materials. Fights are short, grief is long, therefore the poet gives few lines to the combat, but lingers over the son's joy at finding his father, and the father's quenchless sorrow at the death of his son. The last lines especially, with their passionate grief set to solemn music, make this poem one of the best, on the whole, that Arnold has written. And the exquisite ending, where the Oxus, unmindful of the trivial strifes of men, flows on sedately to join his luminous home of waters, is most suggestive of the poet's conception of the orderly life of nature, in contrast with the doubt and restlessness of human life. End of the analysis. Thank